everyone, Complex back with another video, and today I wanted to give you my thoughts on why I, as a hardcore solo player, am not worried about Fallout 76 in the least bit. I'm actually pumped and excited, and I want it now, and I really hope the beta is like tomorrow, even though it's not. I'd like it to be. But today is just going to be kind of a short and sweet, my overall thoughts as a solo player about a BGS game / Fallout game being multiplayer. And then within the next few days, I'm also going to do a video with the facts and what we know as facts about Fallout 76. And I wanted to split those up just because how I feel versus the facts are slightly different. And that video, when it comes out, will be linked down below. So feel free to check that out. And while we're chitter-chattering about my thoughts on Fallout 76, I'm probably going to settlement build because there's never enough settlement building in the world of me. Alright, let's get into it. So for start, a lot of solo players are a little uncomfortable with the idea of Fallout 76, mainly because of the forced PvP aspect of the game. And I will tell you, the moment I heard that during the initial presentation of the game, I was pretty bummed. Like, I was like, this isn't a BGS game. I can't, blah, blah, blah. Like, there was like a few minutes in my head where it was all doom and gloom in the end of the world. And then I was like, you know what? I trust Todd Howard and BGS. They have made some of the most incredible games in the world. Like, hands down, I have more hours into BGS games than any other developer. And that's saying something because I have a lot of hours into Warframe. Almost too many hours into Warframe. But, like, seriously, each BGS game I've got probably close to 1,000 hours into. So I'm going to trust Todd Howard. I'm going to trust the team and that they're going to create a unique BGS experience within a multiplayer sphere. And the more I've dug into the information, the more interviews I watched from Todd Howard, and also the No Clips making a Fallout 76 documentary, which is on YouTube and it's free to watch, and I'm gonna link it down below. It's an incredible 40 minutes, I think it is, of just pure information about Fallout 76. If you watch that, you are going to feel so much better about Fallout 76 if you're even the remotely bit nervous. But yeah, once I watched that and I listened to some more of the Todd Howard interviews, I felt good. I was like, okay, all right, this isn't as much forced PvP as I was expecting, and there are some things that they've already put into place where as a solo player, you can utilize these tools to make your experience more solo player friendly, which is awesome. And my favorite one so far, well, actually there are two. One, the map isn't gonna be super full of people, as Todd Howard mentioned on stage. This isn't a it's an apocalypse. It's not an amusement park kind of thing. So it's not gonna be an ESO experience where you're seeing hundreds and hundreds of people at in one given area potentially. There's no like mega server or anything like that. You're looking at probably 24 to 36 people max on a server is what I'm guessing. And then from there are two really important things to note, especially if you're a solo player. One, you don't pick your server. It's not like in a Rust or a Conan or an Ark game where you pick your server. You're like, I want to play on server XYZ. No, you just load into the game and they will put you on a server, and then you can find your friends from there through what I'm going to assume is a very similar like, hey, join my game system. But because of that, there isn't going to be an opportunity for people to in some of the bigger games like Conan and Ark and Rust, like if you're on one server, you're kind of stuck on the server, and there's always the douchebag or six that make your life a living hell, and you're like, I don't want to restart and all this other stuff. There really isn't that worry because it's always kind of like a new server kind of thing. So if you don't like who you're playing with on your server, log out, go get yourself a cup of coffee and a snack, and then log back in. You might be surprised on what kind of server you end up landing on. The other nice tool that they've given us is the map. The map in Fallout 76 will show you where other players are. So if you notice that to the south of the map, all of the players are there and they're doing whatever, you can walk away. You can take yourself north. You can take yourself west, east, whatever. You can utilize the map to find out where other players are. So if you're super uncomfortable in a multiplayer setting, this is a great way to to kind of steer clear of other people. And the other thing to note is that in a few different interviews, Todd Howard mentioned that eventually down the road, not at launch, probably not even close to launch, down the road, we're probably going to get something like a private world space. So if you really want to play this game, but you're just like, boo, I can't do multiplayer at all, it makes me anxious or whatever, that's okay. You can just wait for the game to come out with the private world space eventually. If you want to support them now, you can of course buy the game in advance, or you can wait to buy the game until that private world space has happened and then hop in. So there is that potentially coming, which is awesome, especially for those that are like, no multiplayer kind of thing. But I will tell you, as somebody who a year ago absolutely hated multiplayer. I hated multiplayer a year ago. I couldn't do it. I was like, nope, any game that's multiplayer, no way. I hopped into Destiny, actually, and through public events, this and that, you kind of get over it, and you kind of realize that nobody's really looking at you. Like, you feel like everybody's watching you, but really nobody is, so, it's okay. So if you are new to multiplayer, this might be a great way to hop in just to see if it's actually as scary and as anxiety-inducing as you think it might be. Another thing that is super important to note, especially for the solo player, is the fact that people can kind of like destroy your stuff, or not. I don't want to say destroy. That was the wrong word. People can come in and like theoretically attack your settlements, or as you probably saw in the presentation, there are nukes. So we'll touch on that in two separate veins. The first is if something gets attacked by a nuke or destroyed or anything like that, your stuff you can repair. It's not like you lose everything. Your whole base doesn't just go kapooey. You can repair it. Also, there are blueprints. Similar to, I'm going to guess, the transfer settlement mod for Fallout 4, which, by the way, if you don't have that mod, get it. Especially because we know Bethesda games are a little buggy. So it's nice to have backup copies of your favorite settlements that you've built, just in case anything happens to your save file. But enough of that. You can repair everything in Fallout 76 for the most part. So the nice thing about that is, again, if somebody destroys something, if a nuke lands on your site, no big deal. You haven't lost it. And when you log out of the server, your stuff isn't still there. It goes with you. So I log out of the game, my settlement comes with me, my shit comes with me, my person comes with me. So it's not like other games that are like a dedicated live server in that regard. So like I feel like I remember Ark. Like your stuff stays even if you log out kind of thing. It's not like that at all, which is nice. So there's no worry there. The other thing to note is about the nuclear missiles, because I feel like a lot of people are especially solo players, super worried about that. It's okay, because those are actually cool. Like, it wasn't explained well in the initial presentation what the nuclear sites actually do. One, Todd Howard wanted to create some drama because, I mean, somebody attacks you with a nuke, that's going to create drama. But the other thing is, when a nuke is dropped, it creates almost like a glowing sea-like area from Fallout 4. It's going to have higher level enemies, better loot drops, and rare resources that you'll need for crafting later on in the game. So chances are, if people actually do launch a nuke, they're probably not going to want to launch it near you. If they're being smart, they're going to want to launch it in an area near them but far enough away so they won't get hurt. So they can be the first there to get all the resources. So, with that being said, yay. Like, the nukes aren't really anything to worry about. And the other thing is, if you die in this game, you just pick a respawn point. There are no penalties or anything like that. Todd Howard even said in one of the interviews, it's annoying enough to die in a video game kind of thing. He's not going to make it any more annoying than it has to be. So you're not going to lose progression. It's not like an Ark or a Conan where when you die, like, your stuff like just stays there and you have to go and retrieve it and this and that. No, none of that bullshit. So all of those things taken into consideration. Oh, and then the last thing, my favorite thing is we can have multiple characters. Pete Hines confirmed it on Twitter. You can, in fact, have multiple characters. So for myself personally, when I play the game, I'm going to have one solo character, and then I'm going to have a joint character with Metro. So then that way, you know, I can kind of keep that all separate. And then eventually, if any of you guys want to hop on and, you know, play Fallout 76, if I start twitching or anything like that, we can have a shared world that way too. See, I like that. I like that we can have multiple characters from multiple instances. I kind of have the same thing in ESO. One character with Metro, one character on my own kind of thing. So it works out really nicely. And you can role play the game as many different ways as you want theoretically. So overall, with all of those things taken into consideration, I'm not worried. This game seems really solo player friendly. It doesn't seem like they've overlooked anything as far as the solo player goes, because BGS knows their core audience is a whole bunch of solo players and they respect us, and that's awesome. And if you've played BGS games before, you know what they're about. I don't think jumping to conclusion and thinking that this is the end of the world and that BGS will never make another single player RPG again. That's like the wrong attitude to have right now. So overall, if you're a hardcore solo player, if you hate multiplayer, I would still highly recommend giving this game a chance. I mean, the beta, yeah, you have to pre-order the game to participate, but I think the beta is definitely going to help you figure out, maybe a friend already knows that they're going to play the game for you, and if you can hop over to their place, or if they can stream it or something like that, just so you can see what the game's about, you might feel a bit better. I myself will absolutely be pre-ordering and playing the beta, and as the beta goes, I'll let you guys know, of course, how I'm feeling, if I think that the solo player experience is still there, or if there's anything that as solo players we should be worried about. But I don't foresee anything. I'm excited. I am so ready to play this game. I'm so ready for a new BGS experience. It sounds like Fallout 76 is really about the exploration. And I love that. I love exploration. I play these games because I want to get lost in the world. I want to find a dungeon or a big abandoned building, anything like that. I want to find it and I want to like crawl around in it. I want to get lost. I want to read terminals. I want to talk to robots, all this other stuff. And that's 100% sounding like what we're going to be getting in this game. And the map is 4 times the size of Fallout 4. So if you get on a server with the max amount of people of like 24 to 36, and it's 4 times the size of Fallout 4, it's going to be pretty hard to find people. You know, like somebody's going to really have to actively seek you out. And Bethesda has promised that they are working on a griefing system, so then that way you don't feel like you're purposely getting attacked by one person, or if you're uncomfortable with it, this and that. They are looking at options for all of that, and they're going to be listening to feedback from the community throughout the beta and also throughout just the launch of the game and beyond. So if things aren't working, they're gonna adjust. Like, this is Bethesda we're talking about. Fallout 4, people said we didn't get enough story, and what did they do? They gave us Far Harbor, which was incredible, and I'm obsessed with Far Harbor, but that's a story for a different day. So, I want to know what your thoughts are. Are you excited for Fallout 76 as a solo player? Are you thinking that, hey, this game really isn't going to have anything for me as a solo player, and I'm bummed about that? Let me know down in the comments below, or on the blog, or on social media, what have you. And then other than that, I'm going to see you in the next video. Bye!